Welcome to TCF Bank Stadium in Minnesota. We got a Big Ten West matchup. Two teams fighting to get to 500 as the Nebraska Cornhuskers take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. College football on FS1 is sponsored by Dave and Buster's. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer. This is my partner, Ben Lieber. And partner, we got two teams here at 4 and 5 who desperately need a win, but for different reasons.
Yeah, definitely for different reasons. You look at Mike Riley in Nebraska. The man is fighting for his job. I mean, let's be honest about it. New athletic director, the team is trending downwards, and really to solidify his job and to keep his job, he needs to win this game and another game to at least be bowl eligible. And then for Minnesota and PJ Fleck, comes in with a lot of fanfare, a lot of hype. What a better way to win this game and another game as well to be bowl eligible, to really justify, I think, his hiring and the hype surrounding the program.
Now, the strength of Minnesota's offense and PJ Fleck is the running game, and the man who rolls the boat is their running back, Rodney Smith.
Yeah, you're going to hear that a lot, along with Elite and a lot of other mantras. But with Rodney Smith, I mean, he really is the workhorse behind this team. You look at the last 3 games, 63 touches. Now, it could be rushing, it could be receiving, it could also be on the kickoff return. But you look at the way Minnesota is. They're on their second quarterback and Demery, and then you look at the defense for Nebraska. They've been giving up a lot of rushing yards. So I would expect them to rush the ball a lot with Rodney.
And I tell you, the Cornhuskers have got themselves a dynamic freshman. He does everything for them. And by the way, it's a homecoming for him as well in J.D. Spielman.
Yeah, he's a local kid out of Eden Prairie, just west of the Twin Cities. He's a redshirt freshman coming back home. And I tell you what, he's one of the most dynamic players in the Big Ten already. This is the first touch of his collegiate career, 99 yards in the opening game. And really from then, he's gained a lot of confidence with the coaching staff to put him in on offense. He's a great feel for spatial awareness and quickness. So look for him to get involved in the passing game as well, along with jet sweeps and a lot of gimmick plays. Dangerous player in J.D. Spielman.
Well, Nebraska is unbeaten on the road in conference play in Minnesota. Well, they're fighting to get to 500, so expect to hear a lot of Sky-U-Ma and roll the boat. It's the Cornhuskers, the Golden Gophers, Big Ten football here on FS1. Welcome back. We're in Minnesota as the Golden Gophers take the field. They are 3-2 here at home. They fight to get to 500. Brian Custer alongside Ben Lieber. As you take a look at Mike Riley in his 17th season as a head coach, and boy, he's fallen on some hard times. A lot of pressure on him. His 3rd season at Nebraska at 19-16. The head man in Minnesota is P.J. Fleck, Philip John Fleck. He's 36, bundle of energy, positivity, known as a program builder here in his 1st season as the head man in Minnesota. Take a look. 35 degrees here in Minnesota. We got good Big Ten football weather.
This is perfect weather, right? I mean, the snow coming down last night.
Yep.
It's perfect football weather. This is when you can just run around all day and not even sweat.
Hey, high of 39, they said today. Nebraska won the toss. They've opted to defer. So Minnesota will receive. Back deep is Rodney Smith, Kobe McCreary. Kicking things off will be Drew Brown from Nebraska. And this is Smith from his own 1. Finds the seam. Smith. Rodney Smith goes 99 yards on the opening kickoff. Roll the punt.
We talk about starting fast, and then we talk about the open that you're going to have to deal with Rodney Smith all game long, whether it's on offense, rushing the ball, catching the ball in the backfield, they get him involved in jet sweeps and all that nature. But
kickoff returns is also a dangerous position for Rodney Smith, and he takes it off. Just a middle right return, great blocking up front, and he takes it 99 yards to the house.
So here comes Emmett Carpenter for the point after. What a way to start things off here in the Twin Cities. It's up and good. And the Golden Gophers are on the board thanks to this kickoff return by Rodney Smith. You talked about him in the open, and boy, we said he could run the rock, but boy, he does it in returns as well in special teams.
Well, you know, when you only have to make one guy miss, and he barely had to sidestep him there at the beginning of that run, it's all about blocking on kickoff return, getting a hat on a hat. And Rodney Smith has the vision, the quickness, and the speed to make plays like this. We knew he was going to be dangerous in the run game, and we're still going to see how that plays out. But in the kickoff return game, if you can get your guys up front to get blocking like that, it makes it really easy for any returner, not just Rodney Smith, to make plays.
Yeah, first kickoff, a punt return for a touchdown this year for the Golden Gophers. That's how you get your crowd into it here early on. This is a team that basically scored 10 points the past couple of weeks. It's a good start.
Well, and look who's returning for Nebraska, as we talked about. He's had a 99-yard kickoff return himself, and J.D. Spielman.
Ryan Santoso kicked things away. And the freshman, J.D. Spielman. Nebraska will start from the 25. All right, Ben Lieber, let's talk about what to watch for when Big Red has the football.
Well, you look at the way Nebraska's built with Tanner Lee at quarterback. He's the #3 passer in the Big Ten, but I really think you have to test this Minnesota defense in the run game with a Zigbo. Minnesota's defense really got run over last week against Michigan, so I expect them to come out early in this game and run. And there's a guy in the middle that's going to make sure that doesn't happen. Jonathan Celestine, he'll see a big brace on his right arm, dealing with an injury, but one of the best defensive players in the Big Ten.
Mikael Wilbon, the single setback. And that's DeMornay Pierson-El with the carry.
Well, there's an issue that we saw, we see right here on the first play for Minnesota, and the same thing's going to come up when Nebraska's on defense, is tackling. Tackling has to be paramount for both of these teams. They've missed 12 tackles last week against Michigan. It's been porous most of the season, so not a good sign in the very first play to seeing guys sprawled out missing tackles.
Wilbon straight ahead. He's about a couple of yards shy of a first down, and you hit it. Michigan ran for 371 on this Gopher defense last week.
Yeah, they did it in really just power run game, and Nebraska can do that as well. They can go big personnel, a few tight ends. You can get some fullbacks in there and sort of mimic what Michigan did. They're going to go spread offense empty here on third down.
Well, they'll go 4 wide. Lee from the gun. Looks right. That's a quick strike. Pierson-El. We got a flag down.
Pass complete to 15 to morning, Pierson-El. Penalty flag on the field.
I wonder if you may get a face mask that came in here from Minnesota as they gang tackled.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kule Allende.
You'll see here at the end of this play right there as he wrapped around to make the tackle. It was a high tackle up around the neck. His hands went in and around the face mask, and that's what they called on Allende.
So now the Huskers now in Gopher territory. Wilbon, left side. Picks up about 4. Thomas Barber makes the stop.
And Barber's another guy that just has to be active today. He got beat up a little bit last week against Michigan. A bunch of big offensive linemen getting up to the second level, had a hard time sort of seeing around them, getting off some of the blocks, but he's one of the most productive players on this defense as far as tackles go. So he's another guy that has to step up. If Nebraska wants to run power football, he's got to be right in the mix.
Leads the team in tackles. Now got 83 on the season. Draw, Wilbon cuts back. He's got the first down. He's brought down at the 29. Allende with the stop.
Well, you see Wilbon right there just saying, like, let's keep it going. Let's keep it feeding me. They've had a lot of success here in this first series of just running the ball. No big plays, but they're getting chunk yardage and sort of wearing down this defense already in the first series.
Mike Riley told us, he said, one of the things we got to get our running game back on track. We know we got to make big plays in the passing game, but we've got to run the football better. Pickup of one there. Duke McGee with the stop. Let's talk about keys to the game, Ben.
Well, I think for Nebraska, they're running the football, but when they find some balance, they need to throw the ball at Tanner Lee, and the pocket has to be clean. You look at a lot of his 13 interceptions, it's under pressure and getting hit. Make a clean pocket for him when he has to throw the ball, especially on third down. And for Minnesota, you can't have a lot of negative plays offensively. You're not built offensively right now to throw the ball down the field, so you can't set yourself back on first down.
Lee, the fake, and that's in the flat. The Hoppers. He's got right there at the first down marker, maybe a little shy.
You're going to see it right there. Jack Stoll, number 86. He's the number 2 tight end that was lined up in that formation. Just a simple bootleg. And we talked to the coaches about this. And Danny Langsdorff, the offensive coordinator, said when we get to throw the ball, we want to make things easy for Tanner Lee. So expect a lot of bootleg in this game.
High formation behind Lee. He gives it to Luke McNitt. He powers his way for a first down.
Well, I would think if you're Nebraska, you have to love what you're seeing here on offense. Coming out, implementing the game plan of testing this run defense for Minnesota. You're doing a good job of that. Getting your quarterback outside the pocket, making clean reads to throw the ball. So pretty flawless execution so far in this first series.
That's Lindsey. Rajon Lindsey came in motion. Lee looking Lindsey's way. Makes the catch. Pulled out of bounds. Off the 13-yard line. Antonio Chennault. Covered.
Well, Tyjon Lindsey is another one of these young receivers here for this Nebraska offense. Just a freshman from Corona, California, all the way from Corona. Went out to California to find some athletes, and he's sort of built like J.D. Spielman. A little on the smaller side, 5'9", but quick in space. Nice job by Chennault making a one-on-one tackle.
Spielman lined up there in the slot at the top of your screen. Lee looking over the middle. And it was intended for Stanley Morgan.
Boy, Duke McGee was so close. He was playing tight down in the box for run support. They get a pass that just floats just over the top of him. You see how tight he is in the box. He just had been a step or two maybe in the end zone. He would have had a chance to make a play on that.
From the gun. 3rd down and 4 for Nebraska. Lee looks right, throws, caught, knocked out of bounds. Spielman at about the 1.
We'll check out Spielman right here, the number 2 receiver. He's so quick. It's hard to jam him at the line of scrimmage because he can beat you, and then if you give him space, if you play off 2 or 3 yards, like McGee was doing there, now you're allowing him sort of a two-way go, and he can read off of your leverage. McGee plays inside leverage. He uses that quickness and the hand motion to gain a little bit of that separation. And then you saw the pinpoint pass by Lee. One of the reasons why they really like him, he can just be more consistent with that.
From the eye. Wilbon, left side, touchdown, Cornhuskers.
Well, I tell you what, you can't ask for a better response here for Nebraska's offense. Special teams gives up the game-opening 99-yard kickoff return. Offense gets the chance, and they methodically drive down the field, I think doing exactly what their game plan was to run the ball, power football, test this defense to see if they've learned anything from the Michigan game, and it doesn't seem like they have. So good answer for Nebraska.
And the senior, Drew Brown out of Southlake, Texas, with the extra point. The Cornhuskers go 75 yards in 12 plays, capped off by Mikhail Wilbon's 4th touchdown of the season. We're tied up at 7. Welcome back. We're in Minnesota, Nebraska, and the Golden Gophers all tied up at 7. Nebraska just went 75 yards in 12 plays. Mikhail Wilbon scoring his 4th touchdown of the season, his first rushing TD since September. Put one in against Rutgers. Rodney Smith back deep. He went 99 in the opening kickoff. Drew Brown kicks things away. And here comes Smith again. They bring him down at the 25. So when we come back, we'll get our first look at Demery Croft and that Golden Gopher offense. We're all tied up at 7 here in the first quarter. FS1 College Football is sponsored by the new DQ Western Bacon Cheeseburger $5 lunch. Get it while the getting's good. And by Best Buy, open this last. 7s across the board. Golden Gophers, first crack at the offense here. Demery Croft, the quarterback. Kobe McQuarrie offset right. Croft swings it out to McQuarrie. Let's talk about what to watch for. The Gophers at the football.
Well, we've already talked a lot about Rodney Smith running the ball, and I think, again, if you want to find some balance on this offense, you have to go your go-to guy, your most productive receiver. That's Tyler Johnson. Get him out in space to make plays. And then defensively for Nebraska, I think it really does all start up front. Nick Stoltenberg has really come on lately. Let's see if he can be disruptive and make it easy for his linebackers.
Croft, a redshirt sophomore. This is his 4th start of the season. Once again to McQuarrie, and he's upended about a yard shy. Joshua Kalu with the stop. Again, his 4th start. You can see the numbers here. He has only completed 38% of his passes over the past 4 games. The reason why PJ Fleck says, he talks to him about how he's progressing. He says still evaluating.
And still evaluating. I mean, he's been up and down. He's still learning what he's best at. And I think you watched these first 2 plays, and they're doing exactly what they said they're going to do. You see him run the ball right here. Another element that Connor Rhoda, the previous quarterback, maybe didn't give you in the quarterback run game, the athletic ability of Demery Croft. There's just a zone read, reads the end man on the line of scrimmage, chasing the running back, and he takes it around the corner. But on that first play, they said that they want to give him some easy looks and easy reads, so expect a little bit more throwing on first down for Demery, just to simplify some things and get to second and third man.
From their own 45. That's complete to Philip Howard. Howard. The outside.
Cross pass complete to 25. Philip Howard.
About 5.
5-yard
And
gain
Howard's
on the
another
play,
one of these young
second
players. A
down.
lot of young players from Minnesota playing on offense and defense. But this is a redshirt freshman right here out of Minneapolis. And they said, you know, he's really come on lately. He's starting to understand where they want him. The game last week, not a lot to take out of that game against Michigan, but they said if you look at him individually, he really improved in that game, and with improvement, you'll get more opportunity.
Here's Smith, right side, across midfield, cut back. Finally brought down Cornhusker territory at the 39.
that's just something you'll see a lot with Rodney Smith, is his ability to break tackles. There's one, there's 2 and 3. He's not a big guy, but he runs with a lot of power and he keeps his feet churning. And this is, again, an issue that this defense has been tackling all season long, and they're facing a great running back in the backfield that can break a lot of tackles.
Nebraska trying to learn the 3-4 defense. That run in and out of the hands of Tyler Johnson. Let's get a Carl's Jr. and Hardy's game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. Over on Fox, it's a battle for sole possession of first in the Big Ten East between 12th-ranked Michigan State, number 13 Ohio State. Buckeyes strike first. Mike Weber, 47-yard touchdown. They lead it 7-0 first quarter. Brian, Ben, back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you. Buckeyes trying to bounce back after getting humiliated by Iowa. Good draw, Smith up the middle. He's close to another first down at the 30. Colin Miller with the stop.
Well, got to give some credit there to Garrison Wright, number 78 on the line, for getting a key block on that play.
They go with tempo. Smith, nothing doing. Dedrick Young, the first one to meet him.
Well, there's Garrison right there as a young man that's missed most of the spring, all the spring, a lot of training camp, and he's really just starting to come on as of late. A senior from Kansas that really, this whole offensive line is shuffled around. Guys are playing out of position, but he's naturally now a left guard. And that particular play did a nice job the play before, just getting up to the second level and cutting down the linebacker and making it an easy read for the running back.
4th and 2, P.J. Fleck is going to talk about it. 7-all here in Minnesota. Fourth and 2 from Minnesota. From the Cornhuskers. 31. Rodney Smith. Offset left of Denry Croft. Croft, the pitch to Smith. First down and more.
How about that? This isn't the old school Nebraska now. I understand that there's been a coaching change and it's not the triple option of old Nebraska, but a little bit of a taste of their own traditional medicine and just a speed option to the left. Croft does a great job of being patient. You have to be patient. You know you're going to get hit by that end man on line of scrimmage, but you have to be patient to allow that spacing for the running back, and he does a nice job of doing that. Good 4th down call there from Minnesota.
From the eye, McCrary got it, and I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackled by number 7, Mohamed Berry.
Mohamed Berry make the tackle.
Another good young linebacker for Bob Diaco in this defense. Mohamed Berry, very quick. He's sort of a blitzy linebacker, can do a lot. You saw right there just his ability to get through tight quarters and get into the backfield. Again, known as more of a 3rd down guy, but you can see he can really get in the backfield and make some trouble for any offense.
From the gun, Croft. Ball fake, steps up in the pocket. He's got a lot of room to run. 15, 10. And dropped at the 3. Chris Jones saved a touchdown.
Well, when you play man-to-man defense, you always run the risk of the quarterback run game. They do a nice job of having a robbing linebacker in the middle of the field to take away anything that may come in the middle of the field. Watch the middle of the field. He wants to go there. See the in-cutting route? There's a guy standing right there. So that opens up everything else. So the protection's there, goes to his reads properly, and makes a big gain with his feet.
22-yard pickup by Croft. 1st and goal. And Croft going to keep it and score. Where's this offense been, Golden Gophers?
You can't draw it up any better. The execution with the speed option on 4th down, and then you get down into the red zone. And it's just a simple zone read, and Croft is reading everything perfectly. Watch the collapse here on the fake handoff. Everybody comes crashing down to get the running back. He reads it nicely, pulls it out for an easy touchdown for Minnesota.
Second rushing touchdown on the season for Croft. Amy Carpenter, the point action. The Gophers go 75 yards in 12 plays. They're up 7. Welcome back to Minnesota. Believe it or not, coming into this game, the Golden Gophers second to last in the Big Ten in offense, but so far 2 touches, 2 touchdowns. Opening kickoff return and then first offensive series. They go 12 plays, 75 yards. Demry Croft with a rushing touchdown. He's got 35 yards rushing so far, the most rush yards he's had since September 9th against Oregon State. Toso will kick things away. Cornhuskers get another crack with the rock, and boy, the season started off with a shocker in Lincoln when they fell to Northern Illinois 21-17. And listen, it cost their athletic director his job. The president said, we're not satisfied with the results. And Mike Riley, he's had a tough task here. He needs a couple more wins to become bowl eligible. We got Penn State and Iowa after this one. 1st and 10 from their own 25. Wilbon running hard. Crosses the 30. Jacob Huff brings him down.
This is what you want out of your safeties. Watch the safety right here, Jacob Huff, come down and fill. He's going to take on the block. You have to win those blocks. That's a 1-for-1 block. If he doesn't win that block, that ball is out the gate and probably a touchdown. So when you want to play good run defense at times, you have to beat the blocks in front of you, and Huff did that.
Lee, back to pass. Over the middle, wide open. Pierson-El. Cross midfield to the 40, touchback. Brought down at the 25. Jacob Huff saved 6, but a 44-yard reception by Pierson-El.
Well, the first real big play for each offense. Big explosive play, a mental breakdown in the secondary for the defense from Minnesota. Just an easy crossing route, and Tanner Lee saw it, put it right on the money. That's an issue that he's had as well. These crossing routes going across, sometimes he throws it behind, but that one is right on the money to Pierson-El.
Divine Ozigbo checks in, gets his first carry. Boy, he almost took that one to the house. Once again, Jacob Huff saves 6.
Well, they have the blocking scheme that they want. They're getting up to that 3rd level. Blocker on a blocker, and again, Huff does just enough to get off the block for the shoestring tackle.
Timeout on the field. We're going to take a quick break as well as the Cornhuskers are driving. 14-7 our score. Welcome back to Minnesota. Second offensive series here for Nebraska, and they're looking to put more points on the board. Tanner Lee, he's got Divine Ozigbo behind him. Ozigbo up the middle. Keeps the legs turning, and that's a first down.
Well, they're making no mistake about it. Nebraska's going big personnel, 2 tight ends, packing everything down in a bunch situation, and they're running to that side. They're saying mano-a-mano, we don't care if we're going to overload one side, and you know that we're predictable and we're going to run to that side. Pretty successful job so far in this drive, just getting guys up the field and getting it back vertical.
Ozigbo again right up the middle. He picks up 4. Sigbo's a junior out of Texas.
But again, this is just like every defense at any level. You're going to tighten things down here in the red zone. So Nebraska's got to come out with a little bit of something, I think, out on the edge, throwing the ball to sort of soften up this defense.
Lee, the draw. Wilbon. Duke McGee snuffed that out.
Safety's coming up big. Jacob Huff's had a few big tackles, and same with Duke McGee getting active. They know now that, all right, you're going to test us. That's fine. You're going to test us. Now we're just going to ask our safeties to come down in the box and make some hits.
And that will be the final play here of the first quarter. PJ Fleck, look at him. Get your cardio on there, coach. He runs it down the other side of the field. That's the end of the quarter. 14-7 is the score. FS1 college football will return right after this. Welcome back to TCF Bank Stadium here in Minnesota. We begin the second quarter. We take a look at the first quarter stats, and I mean, from a Nebraska standpoint, Ben, I mean, they've mixed it up. They've gotten the run. They've gotten some big plays. Both of the things that Coach Riley said he wanted to do, they've gotten done in the first quarter.
Yeah, both teams are really just grinding things out offensively, and the one big 44-yard reception by Pierson-El for Nebraska has been really the one big play. Other than that, it's just, hey, you know we're going to run the ball, and we're going to hit you right in the mouth. You got to try to stop us.
And Minnesota has gotten it done as well. Running the football, special teams, they're up 7. We got third down here so far. Cornhuskers 3 for 3 on third down. Spielman, right there, the bubble screen, cuts back in, dropped at the 5.
Duke McGee on the tackle for the Gophers.
Did he get it?
Duke McGee says, no, he did not.
Well, you had a good idea that with J.D. Spielman being pretty quiet so far in this game offensively, that they're going to find a way to get the ball in this playmaker's hands. They go into motion. They find out it's man-to-man coverage. Minnesota adjusts, and now they get a crucial fourth down here. Looks like maybe a defensive timeout.
The previous play resulted in a first down. It's 1st and goal, Nebraska.
There you go.
All right. And obviously the crowd doesn't like it.
They're going to review it. You see Spielman.
Well, to me, he looks down short of the first down. I mean, if you had... It was just, the first down was just shy of the 5-yard mark, and we're going to bring in Dean Blandino. Dean, what do you think on this?
Like the left elbow was down, and it looks like the spot is closer to the 6. I would move this back to the 6-yard line and measure and make this a 4th down.
Wow. There's the hand and the knee.
And the right knee was down as well, a little bit short. Take a look at this. This
you
marker.
Have a knee, you have an elbow.
This
absolutely.
marker down here is an indication of where that first down mark is, and it looks like he's even short of that.
So it sounds like to me, Dean, you're saying when that knee went down is where the football is where you have to place it, correct?
That's the spot. You're looking for a body part other than the hand or a foot. And once that's down, find the football in relation to the line of game. That's your spot.
And that first down marker's right there at the 5. So if that's the case, it looked like it'll be maybe about a yard short.
After review, the ball was dead at the 6-yard line. We will place the ball at the 6-yard line and measure.
Well, Dean, you're right on it because you said place it at the 6 and measure there.
Once again, take a look at the
Exactly.
right knee.
When it's that close. When it's that close, they're going to move it back. And if they can't tell whether it's a first down just by looking at it, they're going to bring the chains out and measure again. And this should be short. You can see here.
Great perspective. Thank you, Dean. You're right on it as always. So 4th and goal now for the Cornhuskers.
Well, now you can do a number of things. I would think one of the easier things that you could do if you're going to go for this 4th down conversion is you've got a 6'4" quarterback that's used to going under center, and just try for the quarterback sneak to pick up half a yard.
Looks like Wilbon is checked in as your running back. Cornhuskers on the season, 10 of 18, all 4th down. Wilbon, right side, net, right at the line of scrimmage. Duke McGee. What a quarter he's had already.
The safeties have been big all game long. You're going to see him come down and fill right there at the point of attack, and watch P.J. Flynn.
Oh, he loves that. He said, row that boat, young man. Well, we got a Big Ten West matchup here. 14-7 is your score. Let's get a game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. We go to Ames, Iowa. Top 25 battle between two teams still alive in the Big 12 race, and this is one of the better runs you're probably going to see today. David Montgomery reverses course, eludes a tackle, breaks another. That's why he's second in the Big 12 in rushing. 22-yard score. Cyclones lead Oklahoma State 14-7 second quarter. Brian, Ben, back to you.
How about those Cyclones? Hey, let me tell you something. We've seen those Cyclones up close and personal, haven't we?
That's a legit football team. Holy cow, and Oklahoma State coming off that loss to Bedlam. Woo. Could they drop 2 in a row?
Man, Brad Campbell, what a job he's doing. Rodney Smith with the ball carry here, turning those legs. That's a good pickup of 6.
You know what I like seeing out of both teams right now is there seems to be a fight and an energy really from both sides, either offense and defense. That particular run, you get all the offensive linemen just running up right behind to push that pile. Everybody's involved, bought in, the high sense of urgency for both teams.
Smith 5 carries, he's got 33 yards. That's him in motion. And they go jet sweep with Smith, right side. He's close to a first down. Well, the Gopher offense, they certainly have struggled the last 2 games. Basically put up 10 points the last 2 games. And, well, they're getting it done here. Thus far, I would say, hey, look, offense, defense, special teams, the play, elite.
You see how you're getting all those buzzwords in, aren't you?
Hey, Minnesota would love that, huh? McQuarrie. First down carry for him.
Well, and the other hidden stat on that graphic was 130 yards passing combined in the last 3 games. So you make a change at quarterback. If you get a guy that you think is a younger guy that you can look at the program, you have to get him some game looks. But boy, 130 combined in the last 3 games is obviously not getting it done. But much better looking offense so far in this game. Croft has been crisp. Had a drop from Tyler Johnson, but otherwise he put that thing on the money. He's looked pretty good today.
McQuarrie upended. Shy of the first down. Marquel Dismute.
There's Croft there.
Redshirt sophomore out of Rockford, Illinois. 3rd and 1. From the gun is Croft. He keeps it. Big hole. Right up the middle. Dimry Croft is going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Golden Gophers, and what a start for the quarterback, Dimry Croft. He goes 73 yards.
Well, I was talking earlier, just watch here on the zone read, watch the edge out here. Just the responsibilities. You got to have a man on the running back, and everybody crashes down. And here's the safety, one-on-one. You got to make one guy miss. And they said the reason why they wanted to go to Dimry Croft was for that reason right there. A little bit more athletic in space, gives you more of a dynamic runner on offense. And a box snap. I think that knee was touchdown right there. We'll take a look at that touchdown run again from Croft. Zone read, keep for the quarterback, one-on-one with the safety. And that's all Croft needs. Take it 20-7, Minnesota.
Well, so far, the Golden Gophers are rolling up the points. They've had 3 touches of the football, 3 touchdowns, kept off. This Dimry Croft, 73-yard touchdown, that 93-yard drive, the longest of the season so far for the Golden Gophers. And Croft now has over 100 yards rushing. Santoso kicks it away. Here's Spielman. Spielman across the 30, cuts back, reverses his field. And finally brought down at the 27. We take a look at some of the standings. Here in the Big Ten, this is the West matchup. You can see Nebraska and Minnesota at 4-5, but Nebraska 3-3 in the conference. Minnesota at 1-5, and you know, if Wisconsin wins today, they basically sure up a piece of the title and punch their ticket to the conference championship game.
Well, they definitely control their own destiny, and right now it's 20-0 Ohio State over Michigan over in a big East showdown. But I mean, the Michigan State, excuse me, and Wisconsin right now, they definitely control their own destiny. There's a lot of talk right now about what's going to happen with Wisconsin if they run the table in the CFP playoff and the top 4 teams, and it is a hotly contested deal that there are a large part of people around the country thinking that an undefeated Wisconsin could still be kept out of the top 4.
Connor Young, he injured his left ankle. I'm sure you tune into the Big Ten Championship. His game is presented by Discover, December 2nd on Fox. Lee going up top. He's got a man. Overthrows Tyjon Lindsey. Lindsey had a step.
Oh, he had a step. You'll see him on the left side of your screen, all the way out here. Makes one move right there. He gets a little bit of a body lean into the defensive back, and Tanner Lee just overthrows him by about a yard. But they have something there. Watch out. They're going to put that in their back pocket and come back with that later in the game.
Here's the draw. Ozigbo. Cornhuskers will be looking at 3rd down.
Well, I think you see the philosophy. I think for both offenses, a lot of times on 1st down, because you're getting a little bit more of a predictable coverage, you're not seeing a lot of safeties going back and forth, disguising things, that it's a little easier read on these quarterbacks, so a lot more throwing on 1st down. But you see the problem that gives you now, it's a 3rd down and longer situation at 3rd and 5, not ideal for what Tanner Lee wants to do.
3 for 4 on 3rd down so far. The Cornhuskers, Wilbon, Ozigbo, split backs. Lee over the middle, and that's complete. Stanley Morgan. He's shy of a 1st down, so 4th down.
Well, Minnesota's defense opted Here comes the punt team for Nebraska, but they opted to play a zone coverage underneath, allowing those crossing routes to go freely across their face. And then once the ball is thrown, you're hoping that one of your zone defenders is sitting right there, and Ken Handy Hawley, a safety, is sitting right there in that seam to make that tackle.
Caleb Lightbaum punted away. This is the first punt for either team. Antonio Chenault, the fair catch. Well, when we come back, the Gopher offense, they have not been stopped yet. And they're up 20-7 here in the second quarter. Welcome back. Minnesota looking for their second conference win. They're up right now. Let's recap. School hired P.J. Fleck back in January. They started off strong, 3-0 in their non-conference schedule. And the struggles began once they got into conference play. 1-5 in Big Ten play. They had dropped 4 of their last 5, 2 straight. But looking good right now. First and 10 for the Golden Gophers. Rodney Smith in motion. The fake. Croft looking over the middle. And it's caught on drop by Brandon Lingen.
Well, once again, first down, they go play action pass, and it's Lingen as a tight end. Gets the coverage they want with a single high safety. And the ball was put right on the money, and the big man just cannot bring it in.
Got to control it. Second down now. Here's the draw. Smith. First down. Crosses the 40. Brought down at the 42.
Well, got to give the big guy some love. Watch him just wash everything down. That's Donnell Green. If your man's going to go inside and you know the ball's going to go outside, just go ahead and take his momentum and shove him all the way down. Donnell Green did not start this game because of an issue last week by throwing a punch and getting ejected in the Michigan game. He's only going to be a brief stint out of this game, and this offensive line is much better with him in the ballgame.
Here's Smith, right side, cuts back. Brought down at the 40. Rodney Smith. 17-yard pickup, showing the vision and some quickness. He's got 68 yards rushing thus far.
And he beats the pulling guard, Garrison Wright, to the point of attack. He said, I'm not going to wait for you. I'm just going to take this ball and go. I got some daylight. I trust my speed, my quickness, and I'm going to go make a play. He is feeling it right now. This Minnesota offense is feeling it right now with Denver Croft at the helm.
Keep in mind, this is a Nebraska defense and team that gives up 30 points a game. Croft, again looking downfield, throws.
Good job, good job.
That was intended for Mark Williams, but he was basically double covered.
Well, this is a rush defense for Nebraska. In the last 4 games have given up over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. They have been leaky. There have been issues. They're transferring from a 4-3 defense to a 3-4. And I think, Harry, we all know that any sort of shift like that takes time, but man, they have just gotten gashed the last 4 games, and Minnesota's doing the same thing.
Looking down, McQuarrie. That's a first down. Iacco, who's of course their defensive coordinator, man, he came under fire just last week for the performance they put off, and what he said after that game as you look at what this Nebraska defense has done here especially the last 4 games.
Well, and the thing is, I agree with where he was coming from. Maybe he got a little long-winded and said some things that got misconstrued, but it's very hard for any team, offense, defense, or otherwise, to change systems and expect guys to play fast and effectively after just half a season.
That pass is complete. Philip Howard. Twisting away. Brought down at the 15. Gophers again inside the red zone, looking to score more points.
I feel like this is just a different offense because they've gotten the running game going. Now Dimmery Croft is getting the time that he needs to assess the defense. Because of the run game, when they go to pass, they're having more time to block things up front because the defense is on their heels. He's doing a nice job making the safe throws, not trying to force anything. And right there, he finds the young receiver.
This is Smith. Good step. He's knocked back at the 11. Colin Miller.
It was a nice stick, but it's the second impact. Watch it get held up, and then it was the shoulder that actually propelled him. Colin Miller's going to feel like he dumped him on his back, but it was his teammate that really helped him out.
24 plays by the Golden Gophers offensively. 10 of them have resulted in their first down. Here's McQuarrie. Spins off the guy. Off another one. Dives for the touchdown. What an effort by Kobe McQuarrie, the JUCO transfer. Look at their head coach.
So watch the vision for McQuarrie. Doesn't do a great job. Actually runs into the back of his own player. But it's the spin move and another spin move and then hand on the ground and just effort gets him into the end zone. Minnesota's offense is rolling on all cylinders right now.
Last time they had a bad snap, not this time, as the extra point is good, and the Golden Gophers and their head coach is like, Sky you ma, we're rolling, 27-7. My man, Mike Thrill Hill, coming your way at the half. We're in Minnesota. The Golden Gophers are rolling. 8 plays, 72 yards. And Prairie scores. They're up 27-7. You talked about this Nebraska defense. They have now given up 15 rushing touchdowns in the last 18 quarters. They had only given up 5 in the first 5 games.
And you know, it's so demoralizing and frustrating, not just as a defense, but as a team. You know, to watch your defense just struggle that much, and you can just see it on their sidelines, the dejection and the lack of confidence in the team right now.
Yeah, Minnesota's dancing on the sidelines right now. Here's Spielman. He can't get to the 20, but we got a flag down.
Well, that flag came from all the way across the field.
Here's Mark Kalinski.
During the return, holding return team number 36. Will penalize half the distance to the goal. 1st and 10, Nebraska.
So we take another look at the TD run by McQuarrie.
Well, they use that jet motion to get everybody distracted, and it's McQuarrie just individual effort, running downhill. One spin move, another spin move, and then the hand on the ground. Another spin move and a barrel roll into the end zone. Wow. He said that it's a tremendous effort. This whole team is feeling it. You can hear on the kickoff coverage unit at the end of the play, just a lot of hooping and hollering. They are all in this game and all up on top of Nebraska right now.
This is Ozigbo. Spins his way forward, picks up about 3.
Well, and I agree with the philosophy right here. I know you're backed up against your own end zone a little bit. You want to give yourself some space, but I still think that you can run the ball effectively on this defense. You don't have to totally get off schedule. A little more than halfway in the second quarter, you still have a lot of time. And you're equally matched skill-wise against this Minnesota team, so don't panic right now.
Over the middle, Spielman. That's a first down. Jacob Huff brought him down.
And I think that you have to get Spielman even more involved in this game. You know, they tried when they were close down to the end zone, but I think you have to get him more involved. They like to do a lot of jet sweeps, direct handoffs for him, line him up in the slot, get him out in space. He could be Tanner Lee's favorite weapon here as this game goes on.
This is Lee from the gun. Over the middle, again Spielman. Brought down at the 42. Jacob Huff again with the coverage and the tackle, and as you talked about, just methodically move it down. And if you get a score, keep in mind, you know, they basically won the toss, they deferred, so they get it at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, exactly right, and that's why I think there's just no panic. You know, you've got the #3 passing quarterback in the Big Ten. That's your bread and butter. You can throw the ball around a little bit. You've got a bunch of young receivers on the outside that can make some plays. And again, I think you just start feeding the ball to Spielman for him to make some plays in the open field.
Ball fake again over the middle. Spielman, you called it. They deliver. He's brought down at the 30. They continue to feed the freshman.
27-yard gain.
He's tapping his shoulder. Looks like he may be dinged up just a little bit, but it's Tanner Lee getting the time up front. We talked about he's a good, accurate quarterback when he has time. A lot of his issues are throwing under pressure, and twice now, 2 repeated plays in a row, they get J.D. Spielman on a deep over route, kind of finding his way through that zone coverage, and Tanner Lee throwing it right on the spot.
Pick up of 27. Lee again over the middle and dropped. Ryan Williams.
Well, so for Minnesota's defense, if you're a second and third level defender, it looks like they want to hit you on these over routes with some time. So you have to now be aware on any sort of play action. Get your foot in the ground and just start running backwards. Eyes on the quarterback, see if you can get in some of these throwing windows, because that's where they're looking to hurt you.
Pressure. And Lee just got that one off. Merrick Jackson supplying some of that pressure.
Well, I think Rob Smith, for Minnesota's defensive coordinator, finally got frustrated and said, I'm going to bring some pressure on you. They bring a 5-man blitz with a late ad by the running back or by the linebacker. There's Merrick who gets off the block to apply some pressure. So they're getting tired, they're getting frustrated, they're not going to get picked apart. They're going to apply some pressure here on Tanner Lee, and I expect them to do that once again here on 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10, they're 3 for 5 so far on 3rd down. Lee looking right over the middle. That's Hoppus, the tight end.
Well, and both teams guessed right. You run a screen pass against a blitz. Minnesota runs an inside blitz with the 2 linebackers, and thankfully Ken Handy-Holly, the safety, was there on the tight end screen to make the tackle, and forcing now a 4th and long situation. 4th and 3 is not an easy down and distance.
Remember, they had a 4th and short earlier in the first quarter, couldn't convert when it was 4th and 1.
Spielman in motion. They like that matchup.
Here's 4th and 3 for Nebraska. He looks right. Spielman, first down. Duke McGee brought him down, but Spielman has been Mr. Offense so far for the Cornhuskers.
Well, when they need a play, watch Spielman go. Watch the patience right here. He's going to go up. This receiver's going to go inside. He's going to wait for that break, and when he makes that break, he's going to go outside. It's the patience of that route. They said that he is a very mature player, both on and off the field. He understands spatial awareness. He understands what the defense is trying to do. He takes advantage of it in that 4th down situation.
His father, of course, the GM of the Minnesota Vikings. His uncle, Chris Spielman, All-American at Ohio State. So he comes from a football family.
Well, he credits, obviously, that sort of lineage and that experience of just being around professional athletes, just watching the way that they work. down in training camp a lot as a young kid in Mankato, Minnesota with the Minnesota Vikings, just watching how guys prepare, how guys
You
work.
remember him?
And I do remember him. You know, I remember him being down there and just soaking everything in.
This is 2nd and 10. Lee looking right. Over the middle. Touchdown. Big Red. Tyler Hoppus.
Both quarterbacks feeling the game right now. You're going to see Hoppus just come right in the middle of the screen. Singled up on the safety. And he wins inside. That is one thing that Nebraska can do, and they've done that more lately, was getting Tyler Hoppus and Jack Stoll, their two big athletic tight ends, more involved in the passing game. And obviously, using big targets in the red zone is always a good go-to.
Here's Drew Brown, senior out of South Lake, Texas, with the extra point, and the Huskers have gotten on the board. 27-14 the score now here in Minnesota. Ten plays, 90 yards is what the Cornhuskers, they did it in 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Well, it was a lot of J.D. Spielman. They didn't panic. They tried to get the run game going a little bit. And then once they found an opening with Spielman on some of those deep overs, they just continually hit it back-to-back plays. Great drive and nice answer from Nebraska.
Here's Rodney Smith. Caught it, dropped it. Falls down at the 12. Let's find out what's going on with the Buckeyes. Game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. Yeah, we check in again at the Horseshoe happening over on Fox. J.T. Barrett, 2 rushing touchdowns already. Now he hooks up with J.K. Dobbins, 8-yard score. Ohio State all over the Spartans. They lead 35-0, second quarter. Brian, Ben, back to you.
G-Dub, thank you. I'd say the Buckeyes are a little mad.
They're taking out their frustration on a pretty good Michigan State team.
Taking it out on Sparty. That's one of those get-right games. Here's Dimmer Croft. They go for offense. They have not been stopped tonight. Handoff. Smith. First down. Pick up a 14. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns so far for Minnesota.
Well, they started the whole game off with that 99-yard kickoff return touchdown for Rodney Smith. And, you know, they've obviously just been unstoppable, putting together long drives, some explosive drives. You know, you didn't know what you're going to get out of Denver Croft this game. I tell you what, he has been spectacular.
Ball fake over the middle. Complete. That's Tyler Johnson.
When Tyler Johnson needed that catch, he had an opportunity earlier in the first half. The same sort of play-action slant where he dropped an easy pass, and this time it's put right on the money. A little bit of a bobble, but he needs this catch right here to build up some confidence so he can keep getting more opportunities, because right now Denver Croft's going to give him that. He is feeling it as a quarterback.
From their own 45. The draw, Smith. Maybe a yard.
You know, it doesn't seem like much just because it's 1 yard, but that's one thing that makes Rodney Smith so special. There's a man in the backfield, but he has this innate ability to get out of trouble and take a negative yardage play into a 0 yardage play or just a 1 yard gain. And that's a big difference in the long term of the game.
Second down and 9 now for the Gophers. Croft looking left. He's got a man wide open. That's Johnson again. Brought down at the 31.
We got an injury to Tyler Johnson. Looks like he was trying to get up and then goes back down. Hard to tell what exactly happened and see if we can find anything. Takes a low shot to the thigh. But what a ball by Demery Croft. He's been accurate. He's been decisive. The ball has gotten there with velocity. And we talked about finding some balance with this offense, and Tyler Johnson needed to be a big part of that. I mentioned earlier the drop in the first quarter. Came back with a nice catch on a few plays before. And then sort of the double move route on the outside, and Croft gets it there with timing.
Well, coming up, the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show with Mike Thrill Hill and Dave Wanstad that comes your way from Los Angeles. Here's 1st and 10 for the Gophers. And it's Croft. He's gonna take off. He's got a 1st down. Dives at the 20. They're gonna mark it, and looks like a yard short.
Well, with one timeout right now, it looks like PJ Fleck is going to use that last timeout.
Man, what a job Demery Croft has done. Over 100 yards rushing, 119 right now.
Well, he's been decisive really with every read. We talked to Kirk Shiraka, the offensive coordinator. He said, I want him to come out in this game and make one read. If it's not there, then run it. He's been decisive a lot in the zone reads, reading the end man line scrimmage, and then again, just showing his athletic ability, which is the reason why he took over for Connor Rhoda midway through the season, for plays like that and the ability to make one man miss and get explosive. So Demery Croft has had one heck of a game right here, and they're going to need him right. His leadership and his playmaking ability as the end of this first half winds down with only one timeout left for Minnesota.
.37 seconds left till the half. Gopher offense have put up points every time they've had the football. Croft looking right. That's incomplete. It was intended for Tyler Johnson, but Lamar Jackson covered him like a blanket.
Well, they take the safe route with time winding down, and you need to preserve some time. Take a shot in the end zone. Why not? And that ball was in a nice little spot. You had to gain separation as far as the receiver goes to make that catch. It would have been one heck of a catch, but nice touch and accuracy from Croft.
3rd and 2. There's a 1st down carry for you.
Now they've got to get up and clock this thing.
Gophers have got one timeout left.
They'll reset the chains. They'll have a little bit of time. Here's the clock. So PJ Fleck now, game management situation. No timeouts.
No timeouts. No timeouts. Correction.
21 seconds. You've spiked it. Now you're on 2nd down. You have a few chances to take a shot in the end zone.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson in motion. Croft rolling right. Throws it away.
Well, you definitely have a lot of time here to run one more play, another shot to the end zone or something around the 1st down marker out of bounds. But that's not going to leave you a lot of time. So I'd expect something, another little shot in the end zone. And keep in mind, they have a really good field goal kicker. So they don't have to force anything in this situation. If it's not there in your first read and it's not the coverage that you want, do the same thing you did there on 2nd down and throw this ball away.
Here's 3rd and 10. He's got a man to the end zone. Knocked away again, looking for Johnson. Lamar Jackson right with him.
And Lamar did a tremendous job of just reading the receiver, waiting for his eyes to get big, waiting for his hands, turns around and makes a nice play on the football.
So here comes Emmett Carpenter, the most accurate kicker in school history for Minnesota. He's 12 of 16 so far this season. This is from 36 yards out. And he is money. Well, more college football action coming your way today on Fox, starting with 11th ranked USC taking on Colorado at 4 Eastern. And number 6 TCU. Boy, they battle Baker Mayfield and number 5 Oklahoma. That's a huge Big 12 showdown. It all happens today on Fox. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Every game is everything. As you take a look at the playoff picture, and Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, they got the big one with Miami.
Huge game.
Yeah, Clemson.
Huge game with Notre Dame and Miami, and you see Oklahoma, the first one sort of knocking at the door of the top 4. They have to win out. It's paramount that they win out to have a chance. But I really think if all things are equal and these top 4 teams continue to win, then you get the SEC championship game. Obviously, one of those teams is going to lose. I still think that a one-loss Georgia or one-loss Alabama is still in. So it's going to get very complicated and contentious if everybody wins out.
This Minnesota squad has scored just 10 points its past 2 games. Right now, they've got 30, which is a conference season high for them. There's the squib kick. That 30 number is what Nebraska's been giving up on average every game. We've at the half here. 30-14 is your score. Minnesota on top. Let's go to Mike Thrill Hill in Los Angeles. Welcome back to Minnesota. We begin the second half. Golden Gophers up 30-14. Brian Custer alongside Ben Lieber, and partner. Hey, Minnesota's gotten it done all 3 phases of the game: offensively, defensively, special teams. And for Nebraska, they've done some good things offensively. It's just the defense has been leaky, especially the rush defense.
Well, they've been leaky the last few games, but really it's because Minnesota's offense is finding balance. And anytime you find balance, it makes it hard on any defense, especially if you're struggling. Demery Croft is being decisive in the run game on the read option, being patient, waiting for guys to crash down on the running back. And you see the first half stats here, and just look at the rush yards for Minnesota, 238 yards. That's not good enough for Nebraska.
First half stats are brought to you by Dave and Buster's. DJ Fleck and his squad certainly played with lots of energy, very effective. They kick things away. And here is J.D. Spielman from his own 5. He is rocked at the 20 as we take a look at the highlights from the first half here, Ben.
Well, the opening kickoff, Rodney Smith takes it 99. Pretty clean little return there, a blocker on a blocker. And he takes it 99 for the opening score. And then after that, we talked about Demery Croft, his ability to run the ball. 2 touchdowns in this long 77-yard keep on the zone read. And then J.D. Spielman, we knew he was going to have a big impact in this game. It took a while for him to get involved, but got involved later on in the second quarter and really did some damage. I think they'll continue doing that and using him here in the second half as they try to climb back into this game.
Yes, Wilbon gets the first carry of the second half and just got back to the line of scrimmage. Good look there at Spielman. 6 catches for 84 yards. It's been a record-breaking day already for him, the freshman.
It really has. Amon Green in this particular team means a lot. He's a very productive player back in the day, and he has broken his record for all-purpose yards already on a season. But any time that you can overtake a special player like Amon Green, you know you're a pretty special player yourself.
How about the Cornhuskers? Got a new quarterback, Patrick O'Brien. Now the quarterback, racing Tanner Lee. O'Brien, redshirt freshman out of California, San Juan Hills High School. talked to Coach Riley about O'Brien. He doesn't get a lot of reps during the week. He's limited with the plays, but he's got a strong arm, and he's going to throw there.
Well, he needed that strong arm on a play right there. The ball low and away. The corner was draped all over Stanley Morgan, and he had to put that thing right on the spot. But very curious and interesting to see why O'Brien is in this game. Tanner Lee didn't seem like he had gotten banged up. Certainly his play was not slipping. Led them down with the aid of J.D. Spielman on one of the touchdown drives and was throwing the ball effectively and on time. So curious to know why Patrick O'Brien is in this game.
Right one, punting things away. Chenault with the fair catch at his own 28. So here comes the Golden Gopher offense. They've been unstoppable in the first half. Good shopping. The Mall of America. That is a shopper's paradise.
I've been on that ride several times, that little Ferris wheel. All those rides in there. When it's cold outside and the kids want to have some fun, that is a good place to go.
First offensive possession now for the Golden Gophers here in the second half. What a first half Jimmy Croft had. Rodney Smith as well, as he gets the carry. To the right side. Take a look at the offensive leaders. First half for Minnesota. Led by Croft. 73 through the air, over 100 on the ground, and Smith 92 yards, closing in on 100. Tyler Johnson, a couple of catches for 44. Gophers go 4 wide. Here's the pitch. Smith, shake. Gets a first down. Antonio Reed pushes him out of bounds. And there's a flag.
Yeah, you're going to get a late hit out of bounds. But once again, it's just the ability of Rodney Smith just sort of looks like a sure tackle and pick up 3 or 4 more yards as he picks up the first down, then he gets tossed.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 25, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. This is number 25's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
Yeah, just threw him down there. Oh, he was well out of bounds. Another one of those for Mr. Reed. He'll have to have a shower. First down, Gophers are already in Cornhusker territory. Here's Croft. And there's another flag.
Yeah, you're going to get Lamar Jackson on a hold. Another play action pass situation. They get what they want, man-to-man on the outside.
Pass interference. Defense number 21, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, Lamar Jackson's sort of been bit by that the last few games. In the past game, gotten a little handsy, a little impatient. Had a few pass interference calls, defensive pass interference calls last week. It looks like he can't shake that sort of impatience when the ball's in the air, just grabbing the receiver and tugging at the jersey.
McQuarrie, the lone setback. Rodney Smith. Got the carry with the jet sweep. Markwell Dispute with the stop.
It's good to see Dispute come up and make a play. He's the one that got juked on that 77-yard touchdown by Croft earlier in this game. And they're going to need their safeties, just like Minnesota's defense. Their safeties have been coming up in the run game and making some plays. And so far, Nebraska's safeties have not been doing that. But good start for Dispute to come up and make that play.
McQuarrie, straight ahead. Third down now.
The conservative approach already that Minnesota's taken on offense. So much time they're taking off the clock. They have this no huddle offense, but they're getting all the instruction from the sidelines. They're getting lined up, letting the play clock wind down with the game clock. Looking to the sideline again, trying to get for the perfect play. So already sort of going to conservative mode here in the second half.
Croft under pressure. And there's a sack. In Stealing. First sack of the day for the Cornhuskers. It's a costly one because it pushes them out of field goal range.
Well, and then those are the mistakes that's going to drive you crazy as an offensive coordinator. Steely comes off the right-hand side, and it really was just Croft holding onto the ball too long. That was an issue with him in the Iowa game. He sat in the pocket way too long, didn't have that internal clock, and really makes a bad decision by not throwing that ball away and giving his very good field goal kicker a chance at 3 points.
First punt of the afternoon for Minnesota. Santoso. And that'll be a touchback. 30-14 the score here in the third quarter. Welcome back. Third quarter here in Minnesota. Nebraska getting their first offensive possession here in the second half. Their second possession, I should say, and their starting quarterback, Tanner Lee, ill, according to the university. That's the reason why he's not playing here in the second half. Patrick O'Brien get his second possession there. Lee back in the locker room. This is first down. And that's complete. That's over the middle.
Well, the one thing that coaches told us about Patrick O'Brien was that he's got arm strength, like you mentioned on that first series, and he is more of a pure pocket passer. And they don't think that the offense drops off much at all with him in the game, because Tanner Lee, he was the type of guy that you want to keep in the pocket as well. He could make some plays outside, but if you had to define him, he's more of a pocket passer too. So I don't think their offense is going to drop off too much.
That was intended for Spielman. Incomplete.
Well, again, I still think their MO, as we'll see Patrick O'Brien, his first taste of real action, real hits of Thomas Barber, but they were doing a much better job by throwing the ball on first down in the first half. I don't know if you can do that now with your backup quarterback to try to attack the run game, so you don't have these third and 3 situations that make it really hard on a backup quarterback.
3rd and 3. Good defensive play by Thomas Barber to knock that one away.
Yeah, real nice defense by Barber. Man-to-man situation. He has a back out of the backfield, plays the angles perfectly. Barber's not probably the most fleet of foot guy, but he does a good job of getting underneath that would-be pick situation and getting his left arm in there to break up the pass and force the punt.
Caleb Lightborn, once again, punt things away. Antonio Chennault standing at his own 30. Fair catch, but it ran into by one of the Cornhuskers at the 35. So that draws the flag. And
Jeremiah Stovall, a backup corner playing punt team on special teams, just violates the halo. There's a fair catch. Got to keep your distance away.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. Kicking team number 42. 15-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Well, Minnesota's defense playing well. Thomas Barber said, not today, not on my watch. Golden Gophers up 16 here in the third. Let's get another game break, a Dave and Buster's game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
All right, let's go back to Beaver Stadium. Number 14, Penn State, held to just 107 yards rushing combined in consecutive losses. getting creative. The pitch back to Saquon Barkley. He hurdles it all the way down to the 1-yard line. He would punch it in 2 plays later. He has just scored again. Nittany Lions lead Rutgers 28-6 in the third. Brian, Ben, back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you, bud. 9 minutes left here in the third. This is McCrary running hard over that left side. Let's take a look at the standings in the Big Ten. Ohio State's up 35-3 over Sparty. So they'll go to 6-1, it looks like. 7 or 8-2 overall. Wisconsin, they've got a big one today, and they're victorious. They can basically clinch the West, punch their ticket to the championship game.
Well, who would have thought that the game today with Ohio State and Michigan State would be such a lopsided deal for Ohio State? I know it's hard to play there in Columbus, but my goodness, Michigan State, you're a much better football team than that.
Rodney Smith, that's another first down. Dismute.
Well, this again is where it gets difficult for Nebraska's defense, and you've been porous in the run game for the last several weeks, and when you want your team to step up and stop the run, because that's all Minnesota's going to do right now, is they have the advantage points-wise, they have the momentum, they've got a good back, they're winning at the point of attack with their offensive line. You need somebody on defense and a group of guys that step up and stop this running game.
Smith again with the carry. He's gone over 100 yards. His 9th career 100-yard game.
You know, there's one thing that I've noticed with this Nebraska defense throughout this game is they're doing a good job when they get to the ball carrier of gang tackling, but I see nobody raking at that football. There's nobody trying to get that football out. This is the perfect opportunity, the perfect time when you know they're going to run the ball to try to steal the ball, get a takeaway, and give the ball back to your offense so you have a chance to climb back in this game.
Cross play fake. Pass complete to Tyler Johnson.
Cross pass complete to Tyler Johnson.
Tell me what you see out of this Nebraska squad, because this is a proud program coming into the day, the 4th most winningest program in the country. They were tied with Ohio State coming into the day, and you can see why there's so much pressure on Riley to turn things around.
Well, you know, they're one of the blue bloods in college football, and their name carries so much weight, and of course they want success, as everybody does, but it does have more weight. You know, right now, they're going to take a look at this last catch by Tyler Johnson. But, you know, to me, and the present moment, this team looks defeated. You know, they look defeated. There's not a lot of life on the sidelines. They've obviously, and we'll take a look at the catch here. Catch or no catch.
That was hard.
At first glance, it looks like a catch. Ooh.
Let's see.
Well, it's kind of hard to see anything to disprove that it wasn't a catch.
Let's see if they hit the carpet at all. I don't know if there's any evidence to overturn that one.
I don't think so either. I think this thing's going to stay.
Yeah.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. There's a catch.
Well, going back to what we were talking about, you know, everybody, the coaches have heard, the players have heard all the talk and all the rumors, and you know, Mike Riley is on the hottest of hot seats, and he's going to get fired, and so obviously that plays a part in sort of the chemistry and the energy of your football team. And I really think after you know, the first couple scores for Minnesota, this team has just sort of shut it down.
It's so interesting. I'm talking with Coach Riley. He said, look, I'd love to coach another year. It's certainly been somewhat a distraction, but I've tried to keep this team focused. Smith pounds his way again up the middle. I thought it was interesting that he said that a few of the players had come to him about his job status and what was going on, and he said, listen, I tried to keep them focused on the week ahead, the opponent at hand, but we've had the best recruiting job we've had in years.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, that's the beauty about football, is you preach to these guys about living in the moment, and just sort of moving on and just focusing on the task at hand. And in this situation, when you can't control whether or not you're going to keep your job or not, other than how you perform on the field, so you convince your guys that let's just focus on today. Let's go out and have a good practice. Let's not worry about the outside noise. And let's see if we can go on the road and beat this Gopher football team. And then we'll worry about all the stuff after that. So he's saying the right things. I think the team is trying to do the right things. They're obviously getting, according to him and all the publications, they're getting a lot of high-level recruits to come in, 4-star guys, 5-star guys to come in. So I think his reputation has an ability to bring some players in.
Rodney Smith, another first down, and now it's 1st and goal. That's Smith in motion. They give it to McQuarrie. Left side, 5-4, touchdown! And if Ric Flair was here, he would say, woo! Because Minnesota is piloted on the Huskers.
So you watched that 30 for 30.
I did. Richard Fleer went to Minnesota. I learned that.
Yes, he did. Well, it's McCreary, it's Rodney Smith, it's Demery Croft. I mean, they can do really no wrong right now in the running game, and tackling's been an issue for Nebraska, and once again, it bites them right there. They have an opportunity to get McCreary for just a few-yard gain, but picks up his feet, and Big Boy runs it in. 38-14, not looking good for Nebraska.
37-14, thanks to this touchdown run by McCreary, and Stoltenberg can only shake his head. You see the great recognition here in the stadium here at TCF Bank Stadium. In fact, Golden Gophers even have names on the back of their helmets. Former alumni of this university and who attend this university who are veterans.
Well, and I have to say a special thank you to the military. I owe my life to the military.
Yeah?
I do. My dad was stationed in Korea, and that's how he met my mom. So I wouldn't be standing next to you.
How about that?
If it wasn't for the military and my dad serving some time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lieber, for what you've done for us. Because you are certainly adding joy to our broadcast and our lives. I'm being serious, man. Don't look at me like that. You're my boy.
And Mrs. Lieber too.
Yeah, and Mrs. Lieber too.
Yeah.
My boy, Blue.
Let me be cuss.
Under 5 minutes left here in the third. And here comes Nebraska and Patrick O'Brien. Tanner Lee, their starting quarterback, ill. So now it's up to the redshirt freshman. Steps up in the pocket. And that's complete to Pierson-El.
Well, you're going to have to start doing more of that. I mean, it's pretty obvious right now that you got to get some points on the board quickly. Your defense is going to have to step up. You're going to have to get some takeaways, steal some possessions, and get some more points on the board. Minnesota's climbing or taking this game away, and for Nebraska, you're going to have to start getting the ball down the field. No more dinking and dunking. You're off schedule now. Can't run the ball too much. It's going to be pretty obvious passing situations from here on out.
That's incomplete, in and out of the hands of Hoppus, the tight end.
It's Thomas Barbrett, leading tackler on this football team. Obviously makes his presence known in the run game, but 2 back-to-back series now with a couple pass breakups. So now even his run-focused minded personality is shifting into the pass game and staying back off the line of scrimmage a little bit more, watching the tight ends, watching the backs, and trying to make some plays on the ball.
And that's incomplete. Intended for Stanley Morgan.
Well, even though it's obvious pass situations, can't forget that this Minnesota defense, especially in the secondary, has been hit with a lot of injuries, starting all the way back in week 3 with Antoine Winfield Jr. going down, arguably their best player. And then from there, it was a whole bunch of injuries. You have safeties now playing corner. So this is a very inexperienced and young secondary that's sort of playing out of position. So you can't attack these guys throughout this game.
3rd down. O'Brien steps up. He's going to run it. He picks up 9. So he's about a yard shy of a 1st down. At this point, you got to go for it.
Yeah, you have to. I don't think that there's any doubt, no second guessing. The score is what it is, and your defense has just been leaky. You have no confidence your defense can stop Minnesota right now, so you have to put it in the hands of your backup quarterback.
Nebraska informs us that Tanner Lee is officially out for the rest of this game, that he is sick. O'Brien rolls left under pressure, and he's going to be sacked. Blake Cashman cashes in with a sack for the Golden Gophers.
But I love this young playmaker. I say young, he's just a junior still, but man, he has been making plays. He's been making plays his whole career here at Minnesota. And he was spying the quarterback the whole way. And watch PJ Fleck. He is fired up. The staff is fired up. They have every right to be fired up. And then Mike Riley and his staff. Yeah.
Been that kind of a day. Yeah. Been that kind of a day. That kind of a season already for Nebraska. Croft. That's complete. Philip Howard.
Well, sudden change. All of a sudden now Minnesota is being aggressive, throwing the ball down the field on 1st down. They started that game in the second half of just running the ball, being really conservative. Now they're trying to put that nail in the coffin.
Will Croft has over 100 yards rushing, now over 100 yards passing as well. This is Smith. That's a 1st down. Antonio Reed makes the stop.
Just move the chains. You can see now they're just taking their time again. Use that clock, chew up this thing, keep the momentum.
Golden Gophers, over 270 yards rushing. Here comes Smith again. He cuts back, picks up a couple. Joshua Kalu.
Well, if you watch Gopher football, you'll notice a lot of times they use this jet sweep motion pre-snap, and a lot of times they'll hand it off on that jet sweep, that direct handoff to the receiver. Sometimes it's Rodney Smith lined up as a number 2, but they have not been giving the ball off. It's just been a lot of deception. So I'm wondering at some point in this game, they're going to use that when they need a big play on the jet sweep.
Croft kicks it. Brought down at the 12 by Mohamed Berry.
Well, you can just see this Nebraska defense really just is on their heels. They're not for sure. They're confused a lot of times on who has the ball, who doesn't have the ball, chasing ghosts.
They go with tempo.
And I think they picked up the 1st down. Looks like an injured player for Minnesota. Garrison Wright.
This is a guy who they love. Said he's certainly been improving. Missed all of training camp with injuries. They liked his progress. They said from game to game to game, he's looked better and better.
Well, and he's had to be versatile. They've had some injuries, and I mentioned earlier in the game, Donnell Green, the left tackle, got ejected from last week's game against Michigan for throwing a punch, and then Garrison as a left guard had to slide all the way over to right tackle. Sam Schluter the right tackle, had to slide all the way to the left tackle. So not only a presence on the inside, but can be a presence on the outside. Versatile player there in Garrison Wright.
Looks to be about a yard shy. So 4th down. And here comes Emmett Carpenter. This is from 30 yards out. Right down the middle. 40 points by the Golden Gophers. 40-14 is the score. 40-14 to score. Golden Gophers looking for their 2nd conference victory. Here's Spellman. Spellman to the 30. Well, PJ Fleck is just a bundle of energy, positivity, and man, he has taken the Twin Cities by storm. And you see the mantra that he brought over from Western Michigan. And that is his row the boat.
Where you said he is a ball of energy at all times. We had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. He runs a very spirited practice on Fridays, and the day before again, a sack.
There's a sack. You talk about rowing the boat. He started it 6 years ago. He said when he lost his 2nd son at a very young age, there's 3 parts to it. The oar is basically the energy to move the boat is what he wants out of his team. The boat is the sacrifice you got to give to be special. Of course, the compass, that's the direction that he wants this program to give, who you surround yourself with. It's that never give up attitude that he wants around this program. And he says this is a cultural rebuild here. So Zigbo with the carry. That should be the final play here of the 3rd quarter.
Well, and what a way to sort of sell that row the boat mentality and attitude with you're getting 1 step closer to bowl eligibility if you pull off this victory. This will be the 5th with 2 games to go. We'll see PJ Fleck leading his team here in the 4th quarter all the way down the field.
We are in TCF Bank Stadium in Minnesota. The Golden Gophers up 40-14 as we begin the 4th quarter, and what a game it's been for Minnesota. They've gotten it done offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Well, you can't say enough about Denver Croft and just the way he's played running the football, but you mentioned it. Minnesota's defense needed a big game. They needed to get right game for themselves as well, and this is the game that they've stepped up.
3rd and 12, and they convert that one. J.D. Spielman over the middle, and he's in Golden Gopher territory.
Well, they didn't step up there. As you can see, Spielman come the left side of your screen. A little Tampa 2 coverage. You got the middle linebacker running back to be that deep middle safety, and just over the outstretched arms of that linebacker. But like I said, the defense needed to step up. They've stepped up most of this game. They've really hammered down and tackled well, stopped them in the run game. But their offense, putting points on the board, is what allowed them to stay more aggressive to get Nebraska off schedule, get them more predictable. And here we are, 4th quarter, it's 40-14.
That's Morgan with that catch. By the way, Spielman, 7 catches, 108 yards receiving here in his homecoming. From this area. Second and 5 now. O'Brien going up top. And we got a flag down He was looking for Brian Reimers.
Kunle Allende in coverage. He's the one that knocked him down. I believe the flag is going to be on him. See him getting consoled there by Merrick Jackson.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Just the second penalty flag on the Golden Gophers.
Well, and really he put himself, or he didn't put himself, the defense put themselves, and Jacob Huff, being the deep safety, has to be over the top. There's no reason why he should feel like he has to be pressured into making a play. If the defense is played right and Huff is over the top, you may have an interception type situation.
Talk about discipline. Golden Gophers probably one of the most disciplined teams, even though they've had some issues defensively. But when it comes to penalties, one of the best. In fact, they were ranked in the top 3 in the NCAA, fewest penalty yards, especially per game. So only 2 here today. It's kind of what you've seen out of them all season long.
Well, that's really saying something when we've mentioned sort of the injuries that have taken place on defense. You've got a lot of young guys in the secondary, especially with just inexperience and not being in game situations where they have to defend passes. And sometimes you can get a lot more handsy and pick up those defensive pass interferences. Another sack fumble.
Ball on the ground, and see who comes up with it. I think O'Brien may have gotten it back.
I think you got it back. There was a whole swarm. Celestine was in there at 13. One of the leaders on that defense. You'll see the whole pocket sort of collapse here. And really, it looked like Merrick Jackson, number 93, right in the middle of your screen, pushes the offensive lineman back into O'Brien. And Celestine just about had a fumble recovery. Now Nebraska's knocked all the way back out of field goal range.
3rd sack of the afternoon for the Golden Gophers. O'Brien swings it out to Zigbo. He's about 8 yards shy of a first down.
Well, I mentioned field goal range, and I don't think that that's even a factor at this point in the game, right? I mean, you need 7 points.
You got to go for it.
You have to go for it.
So 4th down here once again for the Cornhuskers. 4th and 6. They're 1 for 3.
Well, there's J.D. Spielman right there. He's been your go-to guy throughout this game.
He's going up top. That is incomplete or a catch. That is a catch. Stanley Morgan. Out of bounds at the 2.
Well, that's just a beautifully thrown ball. One-on-one coverage. They go 3 receivers to one side. They get Stanley Morgan on the other side, manned up with Allende, and that ball could not have been placed any better. Not terrible coverage by Allende, but it was just a better throw and a nice catch for Morgan.
21 yards, pitch and catch. So 1st and goal from the eye of Zigbo. Left side. He's brought down at the 1.
Nebraska going big, bringing in another big player in Bo Wilson, number 46, to get a little bit more girth in there.
And they'll go to Zigbo again, and there's a touchdown. Cornhuskers. Zigbo's 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, you needed an answer like that. We talked about 3 points is not going to give you much. Great 4th down conversion. staying aggressive, bringing in the big boys, running behind your big fullback. You're not totally out of this. We've seen crazier things in football.
Zigbo now 32 yards on the ground and 9 carries. A touchdown. Extra point by Drew Brown is good. All this set up by Stanley Morgan. That 21-yarder there got him down to the 2. And Devon Zigbo puts it in. 21-40, the score. .21 the score, and Nebraska kick things away. Let's see if they go with the onside kick. Instead, kicks it away, and from their own 5, McCrary across the 25. Rodney Smith has had himself an afternoon. 129 on the ground. He gets another crack when we come back. Here comes that Golden Gopher offense, and talked about how good it's been today. You look at what they've done the last 2 games. They put up a total of 20 points. They've got 40. They've doubled that. Look at the rush yards. My goodness.
Well, they've been phenomenal. I mean, we talked to the coaches about it yesterday, and they're like, well, we don't really know what we have out of Demon Croft yet. You know, we've seen just different variations of him throwing the ball and running the ball. We're not really sure what plays to call that really suit him best, and sort of just they're feeling their way through. And I think if there's any indication of a turning point to him and to this offense and this program, I think you're watching it today. He's been decisive with his passing game, not necessarily going through a ton of progressions, but after the first read, he's going to pull it down, either check down or run it. The read option game you see right here, he's been decisive in understanding what the defense is trying to do to them, being patient, riding that handoff, waiting for the end man line of scrimmage to crash down like he does here. Look how patient he is. Look at his eyes. He's not trying to rush that play. And that just comes with experience, that comes with game reps. And we saw earlier in this game that when he does carry the football, he can be explosive and he can make people miss in the open field.
Go for 3 for 7 on 3rd down. Looking at 3rd and 3 here. Actually going to take a timeout here. We'll take one with them as well. 8:52 left in this one. 40-21's the score. Welcome back here in the 4th quarter. It's time now for the expectation-shattering drive of the game. It's sponsored by Buick, and it started with the opening kickoff, Ben.
Yeah, not much of a drive when it's just the opening kickoff, and he takes it 99 yards. I mean, talk about a tone setter for Minnesota. Here comes another big play, the 77-yard scamper from Demon Croft, who's had an excellent football game today, making plays with his arm and making plays with his feet. Minnesota's offense needed a game like this, and they're getting right against Nebraska's defense.
3rd and 3. Croft again, and he's off to the races again. Demry Croft has taken it to the house, and Minnesota is rolling.
And I think he stumbled over his own feet. He's got to be exhausted today. The most running he's done all season long, and watch the reads again. He's been great on his reads all game long. He saw the end man on line of scrimmage go towards the pitch, so in that situation you have no choice but to take it yourself. And
they count him out. They say he's out at the 1.
Yeah, to me he's out, but he had a little hitch in his giddy up.
Yes, he did.
Oh, that young man must be tired.
We got a flag here.
before the ball was snapped. False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So let's take a look at this, the end of this play, and whether or not he was in the end zone. He definitely wanted, he thought touchdown. He wanted a review. Not happy about it, doesn't get it. We get Sam Schluter, right tackle, jumping off sides on 1st and goal to set them back just a little bit.
64-yard run for Croft. Here's Smith. Shoots one man. Gets to the outside, and he's brought down at the 1.
Well, you and I had a chance to see him yesterday at practice, and we both were like, he's not a physically imposing guy, but I mean, he doesn't wow you with his size, but man, he runs hard and keeps his feet going. Impressive strength for sort of a smaller running back. We saw that beautiful stiff arm, and still with just enough energy to get the ball close to the end zone.
2nd and goal. Croft, little shake. He dives in for the touchdown. He has done it all here. 3rd touchdown of the afternoon for Denry Croft.
And once again, he reads the read option perfectly.
That's a good shake there, baby.
And at 6'5", you don't have to be too close to the end zone just to stretch out and get that ball over the end zone line.
He must have jam in them hips because jelly don't shake like that.
How long you been sitting on that one?
The extra point is good. Denry Croft set it up his own self. Started with this 64-yard run. And then watch this shake here, right here. Touchdown, Minnesota. DJ Fleck, if he was talking to him, you say, Coach, how you feeling? He'd say, elite. Because his team is playing at an elite level today. They're up 47-21. Look at it, dancing. They're having a good time.
Well, they're having a great time. The crowd's having a good time. That's exactly what you want in this stadium, right?
Meanwhile, for Nebraska, you look at their last 5 games, they have given up over 1,400 rushing yards and 17 rushing TDs now in their last 5 games. Spielman across the 30. Cuts back, finally dropped at the 40.
40-yard return for Spielman.
Look at this proud
Nebraska begins
program.
1st and 10 at their own 41.
5 national titles. They all started with Bob Devaney. Had over 100 wins, won a couple of national titles, and then Tom Osborne. I mean, that was, since he's left 20 years ago, he rolled up 3 national titles, had a perfect record when he left, and since then, boy, 4 head coaches, no national titles, and look at the look on Bo Pelini. He looks like the sickest man in America.
Well, like I said earlier, it is such a storied program, and it carries so much weight and respect, and it's hard to fill the shoes of those coaches you speak about, Osborne, Devaney, and they want immediate success. And that's just what generations and generations of Nebraska football fans have grown up with, and it's a tough place to go in there and have immediate success, especially transition from the Big 12 into the Big 10 and all the challenges that come with that. I think they were a little shell-shocked that they have had such a rough go here in the Big 10. They thought it'd be a little easier transition, but you know, who knows what's going to happen. And the storyline coming into the game was Mike Riley was on a hot seat. He needed his team to come out and play, not only I think just to win this game, but come out with a certain energy, and passion, and execution. And I think they failed in a lot of areas today.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. You want to at least see some competitiveness out of this program, some fire, and it just went away very early.
Well, and that defense, like you can't spin it any other way. When you've given up that many rushing yards and that many rushing touchdowns, you know, it's really hard to sort of sell where you're at as a defense, and it seems like they're a long ways away from getting back to a competitive style defensively, and certainly that doesn't help your offense at all.
Bryant scrambles. He's about a yard shy of a first down.
Well, they'll bring in their big hosses again. Luke McNitt, Jack Stoll, tight end and fullback. They're going to go big. I don't think they're going to try to deceive anybody. They're going to line up, overload one side, and hand the ball off to that side.
They've gone 2 for 4 on 4th down. 50% clip. Wilbon, lone setback. Pierson-El and O'Brien will keep it.
Boy, he is awfully close to not picking up that first down.
All has to do with the spot.
Yeah, that second effort. I think that's a legitimate spot right there.
Bring in the sticks here and take a measurement. And let's all find out whether or not they got that first down. And it is short. And look at the head coach.
I tell you what, there's a lot of good feelings in football, but when you stop a team on 4th down, that is a special feeling for the defense. We'll take another look at it. A little shift, a little motion, a little quarterback sneak. Second effort just wasn't there.
Yep, and we got a new quarterback for Minnesota. Connor Oda. See his first action. He was the starter at the beginning of the season before Demery Croft replaced him 4 games ago. Rodney Smith gets another carry.
Rodney Smith, the ball carrier, tackled by Barry.
Rhoda, the 5th-year senior.
3-yard gain on the play, 2nd
3
down.
and 3. Take a look at his numbers.
You know, they're not all bad, and we talked to Coach Fleck about this and the quarterback change, and he said, you know, it's not all his fault. You know, we sort of have to look at the future going forward, and with Connor being a 5th-year senior and Demery Croft being a sophomore, that we had to get Demery in the game. And he said, you know, there was a lot of drop balls and some self-inflicted wounds offensively that sort of hurt the rhythm in certain situations with Connor at the helm. So, you know, he said, don't look at the quarterback change as Connor was playing poorly. The team certainly didn't help him out, and I think the situation being that you have to look forward. You know, you have to see what your young quarterback can do possibly going into next year.
What a job P.J. Fleck did at Western Michigan, and you know, he talked about this being a cultural build here in Minnesota. He says, I know people want a quick fix here, but we kind of have a number of students left. I've got to rebuild this thing. But he said, listen, I came here to win championships. We haven't done anything in this program in 50 years, and it's going to get bad before it gets a lot better. But he promises it's going to get better. Like runs like this. McQuarrie, touchdown, Minnesota. And the Gophers are on their way from being basically one victory away from being bowl eligible.
Well, and nothing special about this particular run. It's just a straight handoff up the middle. And again, missed tackles have been an issue for this Nebraska defense. You'll see one there, and that's all she wrote. McCrary with his 3rd touchdown on the day, and certainly the dagger in the hearts of Nebraska.
The Golden Gophers have hung half a hun on Nebraska, 54-21. Welcome back to Minnesota, as the Golden Gophers have put up a season-high 54 points here on Nebraska. Golden Gophers looking to put an end to a 2-game losing streak, get back to 500, 5-5, and Cornhuskers are on their way to falling to 4-6. Spielman from his own end zone. Brought down at the 14th. Time now for a Big 12 game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. We go to Ames, Iowa. Joel Lanning, third quarterback to throw a pass for Iowa State today with an injury to Kyle Kemp. Look at this juggling one-handed grab by Alan Lazard. 22-yard score. Cyclones lead Oklahoma State 35-31, fourth quarter. Brian, Ben, back to you.
Wow.
Oh, thanks, Greg.
Joel Lanning gets back in at quarterback.
We've seen that before.
We have. Quarterback to linebacker to quarterback. He's playing. He could probably play receiver and punter and kickoff return. The guy can do it all.
What a job Matt Campbell's done there, huh?
Well, it's spectacular. I mean, I don't know another word for it. I mean, it's been a brilliant turnaround. The buy-in from all of his players, having a guy like Kemp come in as a backup quarterback, as sort of a journeyman quarterback, has been around the country trying to find a place, and really that's going to be the storyline. What is his injury? I mean, they've really taken off with him at the helm, and with him going out, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback going forward.
2nd and 5. Incomplete for Morgan. You talked about Matt Campbell. This is what these young guns have done here in these Power 5 schools. Campbell there at Iowa State. He's just 37. DJ Fleck right here. He's just 36. And he's going to try to resurrect this Minnesota program, and, of course, Lincoln Riley.
Boy, how about the program he inherited down there at Oklahoma?
That's a good living he's got there.
You know, he's got, I think, the #1 Heisman candidate in the country in Baker Mayfield. And, you know, it's Oklahoma. I mean, people just want to go to Oklahoma.
What a game, too, with TCU. O'Brien tucks it, takes off. He'll run out of bounds at the 35. Well, we've got more college football action coming your way today on Fox, starting with 11th-ranked Trojans taking on Colorado at 4 Eastern. Then number 6 TCU, we talked about, and they take on Baker Mayfield, and 5th-ranked Oklahoma. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt will bring you that one. That's a huge Big 12 showdown. All happens today on Fox. You can stream it live as well on Fox Sports Go. Every game is everything.
Well, you always worry about big emotional wins like Oklahoma or Oklahoma State and Bedlam last week. They have to get right back on that horse and play a very good TCU team. And Kenny Hill has had a nice bounce back year. The defense there at TCU, which was young and inexperienced last year, has really stepped up. Led that team to number 6 in the country. It's a big showdown there in the Big 12.
This is first down. O'Brien hit as he throws it. Blake Cashman firing in.
Well, that's not good for Cashman either. Here's a player that had double shoulder surgery in the spring. You can see that little shoulder harness he's got on his left arm. Runs out of the game, so we're tapping that left shoulder. Trying to walk it off. He's a talented football player, also from right here in Eden Prairie.
54 points these Golden Gophers have put up, the most Big Ten games for them in this stadium. Here comes the freshman. Spielman cutting back. We told you he was dynamic. He crosses, brought down at the 25.
Man, I only wish at any point in my life I could be that quick laterally. Look how much ground he covers with all these lateral cuts. Another lateral cut. He goes all the way from the left hash, or left sideline, all the way to the left hash in a split second. Very talented. You should have seen this kid on the lacrosse field as well.
8 catches, 135 yards. Welcome back home. J.D. Spielman, O'Brien Brought down at the 14. That's a
O'Brien, ball carrier,
first down. And Nebraska, when we talk about rushing yards, they still have not cracked 100 yet. Meanwhile, Golden Gophers, 410 yards rushing. That's the most Nebraska team has given up since 2014. They gave up over 500 to Wisconsin. For Minnesota, it's their most rushing yards since 2005. O'Brien sacked. He's going to go down. Thomas Barber.
And Barber's sort of been everywhere today in the pass game. You'll see him right in the middle of the screen. Blitz, beats the running back. Good coverage down the field. The leading tackle on this football team gets a sack.
Nebraska's going to call a timeout. So for Minnesota, one more victory, they become bowl eligible. They got to go to Northwestern. That's a tough place to place.
That's a tough place.
Evanston's a tough place to place, and then they come back here and finish with Wisconsin. What do you think?
Well, it's one game at a time for sure. And you know, after what we see today, that game at Northwestern is going to be a very competitive football game. If they play the way they played today, that's a game they can win. And then, you know, the big opponent obviously was Wisconsin. That's the big dog. That's the undefeated team in the Big Ten. They're on top of the Big Ten West. And, you know, the fact that they get them here in this stadium is going to be an advantage.
Second down, O'Brien, complete, Spielman. Net. And I think, you know what? I think Nebraska is trolling us right now. They just called another timeout. I think they're trolling us.
Somebody's got a flight to catch.
Yeah. Things get tougher for Mike Riley and his Cornhusker squad. They got to go to Penn State. So they got to go to State College, and then they end at home against Iowa. And the problem is they haven't played well at home.
No, they haven't played well at home, and then you got to go out to Penn State 2 weeks in a row on the road, and you got Saquon Barkley. And if this Minnesota team is going to have this success run the football in this defense, not a lot of confidence for what you're faced up against next week in Saquon.
Third and 9. And that should be it. Another sack. Carter Kaufman.
Wow, they did take another time out.
I told you he's throwing. It's all right.
Well, I'm not so sure he wants to keep taking timeouts here. They're just padding the stats here for Minnesota. See Carter Coughlin, who was excellent as of late, especially on the twist games and the stunts with the linebackers, just like you saw there. Outside rusher, comes back, looping back on the inside, unblocked. Nobody there to pick him up on the offensive line. And then you're getting your backup quarterback hit once again.
Well, P.J. Fleck and his squad will go to 5-5, 500. Here, meanwhile, for Mike Riley. Boy, he thought things were tough coming into this football game. It's going to be even tougher this week. Another sack by the Golden Gophers.
Well, like I said, it's just padding the stats right now. I don't really understand why you're trying to call timeouts, and even if you get a cheap touchdown, like you're not going to win the game. It's just it's a three-man rush. I mean, I think that just kind of shows you in a nutshell where this team is at mentally, where you have 6 blockers on 3 guys and you still can't protect your quarterback.
Well, that'll do it as Minnesota Rolls up over 50. They're now 500. They get the victory. Final score here from Minneapolis, 54-21. Right now, let's go to Los Angeles and my man, Mike Thrill Hill.